You may have wondered, where did psychology begin? Well, it turns out it began in Leipzig, Germany in about 1879. At this time, there were no departments of psychology. If somebody wanted to study human mind and behavior, they probably started studies as a physician or a doctor or a psychophysicist. One of the most remarkable aspects of Wilhelm Wundt's career was that he trained numerous researchers who then took their skills and set up laboratories in their home countries. One of these students was Edward Titchener, who was educated in the U.S. and Oxford in England, and then he went to Wundt's laboratory in Leipzig to be trained. He then went back home to upstate New York, set up his own laboratory at Cornell University, and he is known as the father of structuralism. What is structuralism? Structuralism aimed to understand the structures of the human mind. But what were these structures? There were sensations, perceptions, images, thoughts, affections, emotions, and other things of the similar nature. They are not of the structures that we might think of today. The primary research method of the structuralist was introspection. This technique involved a participant having an experience in the laboratory, such as a drop of water on the skin, perceiving a dot of blue light, forming a mental image of a familiar object, and then reporting how that experience felt, how it came to be, to the researchers in the laboratory. It is the case that introspection is still used today to study some phenomenon such as problem solving or complex task completion. Then and now, the major shortcoming of introspection is the subjectivity. It is difficult to confirm what the participant has reported as the experience to actually have been the case. The structuralists were known for being very rigorous in their experimentation. Even though their technique was subjective, their rigor came with the number of times that they carried out studies. They routinely would not publish a study unless it had been carried out tens of thousands of times. In research today, we use statistics to tell us whether a particular observation from a sample is likely to be representative of the population that we're studying. But back in the day of the structuralists, statistics really did not exist in the way they do now. It wasn't until 1908 that the modern t-test was invented by William Gosset. He was able to map out the distributions of sample means for each particular sample size. And so this really launched modern statistics for the modern day researcher. Prior to this, the only way to know if an outcome was likely to be reliable, occur again and again, was to do the study again and again to see if you get similar results. What happened to structuralism? In fact, it died a slow death in the early part of the 20th century, ushered in by the popularity of behaviorism, which started around 1910. There is a historical record of published research articles of the structuralists bashing the behaviorists and the behaviorists bashing the structuralists. But over time, when new students came to universities to study psychology, more and more they opted to study behaviorism. That's all for now.